صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. ألف لام ميم الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم
نحن نظلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون لقد أرسلنا من قبلك في السنين ما يأتي من رسول إلا كان بيسير كذلك نصرف في قلوب المجرمين.
Hello, welcome on to InterFaceGambiaTV. I'm your presenter of the Jalab Show, Lamin Jami. We're here today in London, guarded at the Downing Hall, just to remember the late President Dawda Kariaba Jawara, the founding father of Gambian democracy, a great loss to Africa and Gambia as a whole. We're here today gathered with the Gambian brothers and sisters, and of course the friends and families of the Gambia in London in the Downing Hall, just to hold the prayers for the late President Dawda Kariaba Jawara, who passed away 27th of August 2019. A great loss to Africa, indeed a great loss to Gambia. With this memory service today, we have the former cabinet members and colleagues of His Excellency the late Dawda Kariaba Jawara. Among the members we have Honorable OJ Jallow. OJ Jallow has served in the cabinets of Dawda Kariaba Jawara as Minister of Agriculture. We do also have Honorable Sarah Janghe. We also have the former ambassador to France and the commander-in-chief of the former Gambia Armed Force, and Downjoy. And we also have Honorable Fode Sekou Georges. They're all here today to be part of this great gathering with the Senegambian community in the UK, and of course the friends and families of the Gambia, to remember the late Dawda Kariaba Jawara, who is a great loss to Africa, of course a great loss to the Gambia as a nation. Stay tuned with InterFaceGambiaTV.
والزبور وأنزلنا من الزبور ولا يرى إلى ما خلق الله من شيء يتخيأ ظلاله.
Still over here with the Gambian community, and of course next to me right here standing with me Imam Gassama. Imam Gassama is the Deputy Imam of the Gambian community here in the UK. Imam, indeed a great loss to Africa, and of course a great loss to the Gambia as a nation and the friends of the Gambia. Imam, can you tell us what your memories are of you in regards to His Excellency the late President Dawda Kariaba Jawara?
MashaAllah. Inna alhamdulillah. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. أما بعد الأمين.
Yes.
All praises are due to Allah. We thank Him and praise Him, testify and believe that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is His hand-picked messenger. May the peace, mercy and blessing of Allah be upon Rasulullah, his family and whoever follows. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil karim. Amma ba'd, respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, and of course everyone here today. To each and every one of you, I say Assalamu alaikum. Tabarakallah, everyone here today knows exactly why we are here. Though I would repeat the purpose of being here. The entire Gambian populace and the family of Dawda Kariaba Jawara and the international community for that matter have been tested with the passing away of Dawda Kariaba Jawara. On that note, we say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Our heartfelt condolence goes out to everyone, to every family member, to every Gambian and non-Gambians alike. We are gathered here today for two purposes, two reasons. One is to sincerely pray for Dawda Kariaba Jawara so that Allah Azza wa Jalla can shower His special mercy upon him where he is right now, otherwise known as Barzakh. And we want to use this opportunity to seek from every Gambian to sincerely find a space in his heart and say, Ya Allah, Dawda was trusted with a trust for nearly 3 decades. He did his utmost to deliver the goods. Now he is no more as a Gambian. I sincerely forgive him in the event that there is something that was missing that needed to be taken care of. In other words, everyone should sincerely pray for him and seek forgiveness for him. Intending to forgive him doesn't mean he necessarily wronged you, but it was a responsibility upon him to take care of you. So if you were in need, even if he didn't realize it was his responsibility, but with the mercy of Allah, he won't be accounted for that. So let's pray for him, for Allah to forgive him, and open our hearts and sincerely forgive him. That's why we are here. Tabarakallah, that started with the recitation of the Quran. And for Tabarakallah, we'll be doing the concluding prayers now, inshallah. The second reason why we are here is to grant the cross-section of Gambians today that are here to pay their tributes, say at least 1 or 2 things about the late president, inshallah, which we will come to. At this point, inshallah, we will be making dua Khatmul Quran. I ask our elder, Pa Bayo, to begin with the recitation of the Quran. And the next thing is the dua. We have one of his in-laws all the way from France, Haidara, who I was introduced to by one of his in-laws, Sheikh Tayyib, Tabarakallah. And now he is here. We have unanimously agreed to give him the floor to lead the prayers, inshallah. Wherever an individual is, please say Ameen. That is, Ya Allah. Whatever is being asked for, please accept to your special mercy. Once that's done, because we're running out of time, we will just take a U-turn and get the women folk sitting this way, the men folk sitting this way, and I have Bamba Mas and Barham Jata to sort out whoever sits on top, inshallah. Then we can take it from there. On that note, brothers and sisters, please say Ameen to the dua. Bismillah Haidar. Aya murundila bismillah. Ba aya murundila.
Interventa ni ñoo dua ni mandi kawul bije ci alqur'ano kumu dila ni siri fo bal kono ko mi kila yelo lam ci bu nya dila ba biri ci ama ya boko ka karaw di ni na ya tra ya di tela ni te sonna na di nolam na so to karafula na wulutale
mbaari musole ka futu ifa maaye amurta kote ke ñing ko ba sabi diwle be ñimbulu dengan ndi kawtu Jawara la so andal fanan siata de ayo buñaale muru dinkan sa handi bela firi ñinna ati duwar on karambara ko ay buña di sa ndel de ba bi wala ngadi mo dola jaamu felente jaamu yangi ni te man ma jang won kibi les jitu bi affaire bi leji mu ci sa loxo nga tanal kenn yow itam ñi nga andal comme si mu ne joxona ñu pour ñu def ko yeb man dama demoon suñu yoon moo tax boo tasee ak soose yi ëllëg bu fekkee ne njiitu alquran bi boppa bi yaa ngi ànd ak sëriñ yeneen wala sirifu yi ñooy ñaanikat yi dañu commencé bisimilah rahmaani rahim ñu ñoo koy jeexal léeg-léeg tànnal kennan balaa ñu dem
c'est jox nañ ko mu jox ko sirif delloo ko mu delloo la
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ بالفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك والآخرة يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صدق الله العظيم وبارك رسوله الكريم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم يا ربي ومولانا إنك التواب الرحيم أسألك يا ربي بكل اسم لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك العزيز أو علمته أحد من خلقك أو استأثرته في علم الغيب عندك يا رب أن تجعل القرآن الكريم رب قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلال أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه أسألك يا رب أن تبلغ سوى ما قرأنا ونور ما تلأنا إلى روح سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإلى جميع أرواح الأنبياء المرسلين عامتهم وإلى أرواح أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وآل بيت الكرام وزوجاته طاهرات أمهات المؤمنين وإلى روح الفقيد الغالي.
This one for blessed Gambia. The more we work together, the more we celebrate. The more we come together, the more we celebrate. Come on, let's get together. There's a place I love to be. The Gambia, the Gambia.
Imagine a private retreat buried deep in the forest. A special place to relax, recharge, and get in touch with our culture and nature. So go discover the smiling coast of Africa.
InterFaceTV with us, the Gambia ci kaw ci kanam rek.
السيد داود جوار يا رب فاغفر له وارحمه وعافه واعف اللهم يا رب واكرم نزله ويسر حسابه ونور قبره اللهم يا رب باعد بينه وبين الخطايا كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب يا رب نقيه من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى ثوب الأبيض من الدنس برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم يا رب ثقل الميزان وزن الحساب يا رب اللهم فاغسله بالماء وذل البر. اللهم يا رب وجل قبره روضة من رياض الجنة ولا تجعله يا رب حفرة من حفر النار. يا أخي اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق الناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره وقدر العظيم. صلاة تفتح لنا بردا والتيسير وتغلق عنا بها أبا بشر وتأثر وتكون بها وليا ونصيرا. أنت ولينا أنت ولينا أنت ولينا مولنا فنعم المولى ونعم النصير. اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد صلاة تنجينا من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها يا رب عندك على الدرجات وتبلغنا بها يا رب أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات من جميع الخيرات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة والممات. اللهم صل صلاة كاملة وصل صلاة تامة على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم الذي تنحل بالعقد وتنفر بالقرب وتقضى بالحوائج وتنال بالغرائب. يا رب بكل عدد معلوم لك يا رب فاغفر له وارحمه وعافه وعفو برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. نسألك يا رب إيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا وعلما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء آجلا وتوبة نصوحا وتوبة قبل الموت وراحة أجل الموت ونجاة بالنار برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. يا أخي إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الفاتحة ak fukki lixlaas ak benn ñu yéene ko yàlla jotal ko yool bi ki ñu fi daje mooy Sayid alwalid alghali alfaqid Sayid Alhaji Dawda Jawara. rahmati bismillahi rahmani rahim. Allahu ahad.
Jazakallah khair ya Sheikh Tayyib wa tabarakallah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla accept everything that is being asked for in terms of prayers. May Allah Azza wa Jalla show His special mercy on the late Dawda Kariaba Jawara and grant him Jannatul Firdaus inshallah. Inshallah, because we are running out of time, like I said, I would request everyone to take a U-turn where possible and segregate the men from the women, women this way, men this way, and I would request Bamba Mas and Mr. Jata to help on with the seating, inshallah. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد, respected elders, brothers and sisters, to each and every one of you, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Like I rightly stated before the dua, that wa tabarakallah, the family of Dawda Kariaba Jawara, the entire Gambian populace, and the international community large are being tested with the passing away of the late President Dawda Kariaba Jawara. But tabarakallah, here we are today because we owe it to him to pay our respect and to sincerely pray, though I'm not expecting this to be one-off, but to continue praying for him and all the departed souls for that matter. This is being organized by the family of the late President Dawda Kariaba Jawara, here in the UK, elsewhere, and of course in the Gambia, in collaboration with the Gambian Embassy under the leadership of Mr. Blake, being seconded by Mr. Njai, who is here seated today, and of course Interface Gambia, and of course a cross-section of the Gambian community, with the Gambia United playing a big role for that matter. So for Tabarakallah, this is happening today because of each and every one of you. No man is perfect. Al-Kamalu Lillah. Perfection is only due to Allah. And there is a saying from the tradition of the Prophet that kullukum ra'in wa kullu ra'in mas'ulun an ra'iyati. Every one of you is a shepherd, and every shepherd will be questioned about and regarding his flock. Every family member will be questioned about his family. Sir Dawda will be questioned about his family, but then he will be questioned about his larger family, which is the entire Gambian populace. That being the case, knowing that no man is perfect, that is the more reason we are gathered here today. To pray that Allah Azza wa Jalla shower His special mercy on him, but then to grant our elders and respected brothers here the opportunity to say a few things in appreciation and recognition of the hard work that he has been carrying out for nearly 3 decades. That in itself is Islamic. If an individual passes away, it is recommended, it is a sunnah, to talk about the good things that he was engaged in throughout his life. That is why we are here today for Tabarakallah. Due to the fact that time is against us, we have limited time. We have to do our utmost to be as brief as possible. In a nutshell, just do the opposite of what I'm doing right now. Just do the opposite of what I'm doing right now. I have my uncles here sitting on top. I'm not even going to look at them to tell them how much time I'm going to give them. But I'm going to look at you telling you I'm giving each 5 minutes. For whatever reason, if an uncle deems it necessary to go beyond 5 minutes, then I'll be generous to add a minute, making it 6. If they insist to make it 10, then I would have a say. Tabarakallah. But then again, we have over 10 speakers. And of course, we have our auntie seated right here, who is the niece of the President, Dawda Kariaba Jawara. Tabarakallah. I would want to give a lady a say for Tabarakallah, or the women folk. And she is the elder from the family, for Tabarakallah. She would also have her turn to say 1 or 2 things, mashallah. If at all we go by the timing, if time permits, I can even say to the audience, I will give you 1 minute. And the most generous among you will be the one who would just stand up and say, Sir Dawda, yalna ko yalla yerem te hare ko aljanna, and say, that's all I have to say. Or Sir Dawda, alama mari man satalla la balafa nala ne moye jiakan, wole benda mbebim fol. So if we can be as brief as possible for Tabarakallah, it will be much appreciated for Tabarakallah. On that note, I will pass on the mic to our uncle, Uncle Oje Jallo, to give the welcoming speech, inshallah. And a quick reminder, if you see Barham Jata or Bamba Mas standing next to you whilst you're speaking, that actually means you don't even have 30 seconds. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair, ahsanu jaza. Uncle, Bismillah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I feel very honored and humbled to be invited here to this very great occasion dedicated to the father of our nation, Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara. I thank everybody for leaving your busy schedules and coming to witness not only the prayers of Sir Dawda, but to hear some of the good things that he has done when people looked up to him for guidance and leadership. He lived by it and walked by it, and he's a person of experience that I think all Gambians should try to copy. I'm happy that I have with me here a friend, a brother for the Jajusi, a classmate of mine throughout high school, and of course, Mr. Jai from the High Commissioner, and my brother and friend, Colonel Dawjai, Ambassador. And our elder brother, and one of Sir Dawda's closest advisors up to the coup d'etat, Secretary General and head of the civil service, Alhaji Sarah Jaha. And then I have, of course, his two sons sitting with us. But my thank goes to Imam Taib Cham and the imams who are present here and who are already here amid the Quranic recitation and prayers for Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara. We have among us friends of Sir Dawda, family of Sir Dawda, well-wishers of Sir Dawda. But Sir Dawda was a Gambian, and we should all look up to him and copy his life, his deeds, his mission, and his vision for Gambia. That Gambia was one nation, irrespective of tribe, color, creed, or religion. With Sir Dawda, everybody was equal under the law. Every Gambian was treated equal without discrimination. That is why I thought Sir Dawda is a shining example, not only for Gambia, but for the whole world, particularly Africa. Because we Africans have not learned from our history. We are the most dehumanized race in the world, enslaved for 400 years, colonized for 400 years. But we have heads of states who treat Africans in their own country worse than how we were treated by the slavers and by the colonials. It was only Sir Dawda who was an exception. That is why it is our pride as Gambians to live and serve under Sir Dawda. And it is our responsibility, all of us, to make sure we don't only talk about it, we live by it, and we work by it, and we serve this country as Sir Dawda told us, and copy his means and visions for this country. I have within us, I will name too few people, the family of one of his closest associations. I've seen them here. Sirif Sekuba Sise, the family is here, who work closely with Sir Dawda and Sarah Jaha. And it was under Sirif Sekuba Sise that the economy of the Gambia became the best in West Africa. And the IMF and the World Bank don't only say that we had the best economy, but Gambia was the only country in ECOWAS whose currency was revalued, not devalued, revalued. Thanks to Sirif Sekuba Sise and his families are here. I've seen the family of Lamin Kitijabang here, who worked as Sir Dawda's minister for 17 years. That means the old man had confidence in this person, and they have worked together sincerely, honestly. We are happy, although he's gone, but we, the young generations, should celebrate. Because it is our generations that he taught what to do for our country. People like us came into parliament, came into cabinet as very young people. Can you imagine? Can anybody here think of somebody being appointed a minister to head a new ministry at the age of 33? At the age of 33, I was given that opportunity by Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara. And I think he had the young people. So many young people served in his cabinet. Therefore, I think the young people of the Gambia should learn from this and make sure that the Gambia doesn't become a failed state. It is our responsibility to uphold the principles and tenets of Sir Dawda. So I would like to tell the imams that on behalf of the Jawara family, I know his two sons are sitting here. So Lady Chilel called me on behalf of the two ladies, Lady Chilel and Lady Jemi, and all the Jawara family in the Gambia. They said I should thank you people honestly and sincerely from the bottom of their hearts. And all these Gambians who have come here to gather to pray for the soul of Sir Dawda to be in Haljana. That they are thanking you people and praying for you people for long life and prosperity, so that you can continue to pray for Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara. And Lady Chilel asked me also to appeal to all of you to continue to pray for the family, so that within the family, they will continue to have the unity, the strength, and the oneness that Sir Dawda wanted to plant not only in the Gambia, but in his family. So they are asking for the imams to continue to pray for the family of Sir Dawda. The two ladies, and the whole family, Dawda Kariaba Jawara Jr. and all his younger brothers and sisters, so that they will continue to live as a strong, unified unit behind their father, so that nobody can infiltrate the family and bring divisions within the family. Sir Dawda's family is one family, one people, one destiny, and their destiny is to pursue Sir Dawda's principles and policies to build a cohesive, united, peaceful Gambia. I thank you all very much.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Uncle OJ. Well said. Tabarakallah. I can wrap it up by saying it was short, sharp, and hot. Tabarakallah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla show His mercy on the late President. From your speech, I have gathered that as far as he is concerned, he realized as a president, even a dog should be looked after in the Gambia. Even animals should be looked after. And this is what the Islam teaches. Tabarakallah. Allah said, He addressed the entire humanity. Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa kaba'ida lita'arafu, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Mankind, I have created you from a single man, from a single soul. Inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, from a male and female. Wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa kaba'ila lita'arafu, and made you into tribes and nations just for one reason. You are a Mandinka, you are a Jahanka, you are Wolof, you are Jola, you are black, you are white, you are yellow, you are brown. Allah said it doesn't matter. What matters is inna akramakum, among all you. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honorable among you in the eyes of Allah is the one who is conscious of Him. So for Tabarakallah, He treated everyone with love, respect, humility, and everything that is needed as far as decency is concerned. Jazakallah khair, Uncle. Well said. Your eulogy about the late Sir Dawda during his funeral spoke volumes for Tabarakallah. On that note, inshallah, I'll hand the baton to the Deputy Ambassador, Mr. Alhaji. Just a reminder that Mr. Blaine, who is the Ambassador, seconded by Mr. Alhaji, at this juncture right now is in the Gambia. And at the beginning I said to you that this thing is being organized by the family of the late President in collaboration with the Gambian Embassy, Interface Gambia, Gambia United, and of course a cross-section of the Gambian community. I was liaising with each and every one of them, the entire family here in the Gambia, Interface, Gambia Society, but through one person, to my sister Fatoumata Jawara. I spoke and dealt with everything, with everyone rather, through her. Tabarakallah, job well done, my sister, for standing up for your father, mashallah. And Pa Aliu Jawara, who was meant to be here today, is actually in the Gambia. He traveled with Sheikh Tayyip to attend the funeral, and is still held there. But I was in constant communication with him and my sister, and everything that is in place as you see it is not from me. I'm just being given a responsibility that is not my job role, as you guys know. Tabarakallah. So on that note, I will pass on the baton to the Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Alhaji, to deliver his speech, inshallah. Bismillah.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. I'm surprised that Mr. Mas has not stopped you because you have exceeded your time. But yes, I'm also scared of your time limitations, but I will try by all means to stick to it. Thank you very much. I'm very much humbled to be in the midst of the high table here, the Jawara family, the people who are working in the civil service, the Secretary General, former Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Oje Jalo, my uncle here, Imam Taib. I thank you very much, and I thank everybody for your presence. I will start with Uncle Oje. We met since 1991. Since then, we have never seen me. And that was when I graduated from secondary school. I came to the Combos. I was coming from the village. I have no job. Then I came straight to his house, to look for a job. I said, I'm looking for a job. He told me, look, you have to be patient. Bit by bit. In life, you don't rush. And then he gave me $50. Imagine $50 at that time, for my transportation money. I was based in Farah. I'm very grateful to you, Honorable. And then it's nice meeting. I'm very humble and grateful for your gesture. Thank you very much. As the chairman of the Imam just said, the family of the Jawara religious leaders who are present here, friends of the Gambia, the entire Gambian community in the United Kingdom, who are able to make it possible to come and attend this gathering. I wish to inform you that His Excellency, the High Commissioner, Mr. Blaine, regrettably could not attend this occasion simply because he was traveling to the Gambia. But when we had the shocking news that the passing away of our father of the nation, what he did was to convene a meeting, that is an emergency meeting, for all the staff to meet and discuss how we arrange the book of condolence, which I coordinated with the rest of the staff. Mr. Mas is part of it. And then we arranged for the diplomatic missions and dignitaries coming from other missions and high commissioners to come and sign the book of condolence. So he has asked me to extend his message of condolence to the family and close members of his friends and relatives. The first person to come, in fact, to sign the book of condolence was the UK Commonwealth Envoy, Mr. Philip. He also extended his message of condolence to the entire family and the Gambian people, and then indicated that His Excellency Dawda was a real Democrat. I cannot say much because it's difficult to speak about Dawda when people like Uncle Oji speak, so I have to reserve so many things. But as a champion of human rights, he is well known all over the world. So he said it's a great loss, not only to the Gambian people, but to the entire world. So we pray for his soul that is in perfect peace. So in that regard, then some of the diplomats continue coming. The messages of condolence keep coming from various envoys from respective Commonwealth high commissions and high commissioners and ambassadors. But in that regard, the message of sympathy and then condolences from respective people, we are very emotional because they tell you something that you don't know about your former head of state as a young man. So I was a bit nervous. I have to make a lot of research to see how I can also be at their level. But Allah being the best, He guided us. I was with them, a few chats, and they showed me that, look, Dawda in 1962, that is his foreign trip to Israel in 1962, when he went to meet with the first Prime Minister of Israel. That shows you that His Excellency was moving, he was peace building, was beyond the boundaries of the Gambia. But it was also at the international arena. So the discussion between him and the Prime Minister of Israel then in 1962 of peace building in the Middle East. These are records. It's not like I witnessed it. I was not born. But when somebody does something good, the records speak for itself. all of us pass through that. He will always remain in the history of the Gambia. I was not opportune to meet him in life or in passing. But I had the opportunity to speak to him on the phone. That was official when I was very young in the civil service. And guess what? The messages that my father related to me when I graduated from Nigeria is exactly what he was also telling me. I try to adjust myself. It's like he's looking at me physically. I say, who am I to speak to His Excellency, the former president? So I try to humble myself on my seat. But what he told me was, Nadingo. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I'm not doing that to your boss, and now you come in to ask me to sit there. You know, what he told me was, in life, two things. You have to be honest in what you do. You have to be patient with people, and you have to be dedicated with your job. That still carries me on. Because before he told me that, my father already told me, when I told him I got my job in the civil service. He said, you got your job in the civil service? I said, yes. He said, okay. You know, the worst things that you can leave with your children for your legacy, when you die and people start telling your children, your father was a big thief. He said, when you live there with your children, they will never forgive you. So make sure, don't take anything that does not belong to you. So Sir Dawda and my dad, it's not that they know each other, but the message is the same thing. And Mr. Jalo told me exactly the same thing in 1991. He came to look for a job in his house. I am grateful to all of you. It still remain in my head. I've been in the civil service the last 18 years, and then I've been to the highest level, up to the permanent secretary level. I will just lower my voice because I have secretary generals around. But I don't want to say something that is off the civil service rules and regulation. With respect, anyway. I indulge on all of you, every Gambian, wherever we are, to pray for His Excellency. I have one simple story. When I was going to school in Nigeria, also one of my lecturers, there was this protest in Zambia. So when the protest started, we had this lecturer who was talking about indoctrination. So one of the students said, oh no, this protest in the Gambia, is, like for example, they are protesting for their rights. The lecturer said, are you talking about the Gambia or Zambia? And the student just listened, my colleague. He said, no, I'm talking about the Gambia. He said, what I know about the Gambia, the head of state, the former head of state, Sir Dawda Jawara, he has indoctrinated them to be very peaceful, respecters of the law, respecters of authority, and they are very patient. You see, this issue of patient and peaceful, it's global about Sir Dawda. As you move on from one institution to another, from one individual to another, people talking about it. So all these things still remain in my head. Thank you very much, Imam. I know you're looking at me, so I don't want to go further. Thanks, thank you.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I was expecting that from him because he represents Gambia here. So he should have a lot to say. The reason why I'm stopping you is I was almost being carried away because of the interest I have in what you're saying. So I might as well stop you, otherwise we'll be in trouble. But well said, well said. I was expecting that for Tabarakallah. May Allah grant us understanding. For Tabarakallah, just a reminder that we have in our midst our able Imam Sir, who had to cut short his activities at work to grace the occasion. He came all the way from work just to grace this occasion, mashallah. Imam, marhaban, welcome. Welcome, for Tabarakallah. And our next speaker, we have, by the way, Maghrib will be soon. And arrangements have been made that when the time is due for Maghrib, I would just make the azan here. And people can just march out. There is a hall on the right-hand side. Just get in there. The prayer mats are in place. Perform salah. like my friend normally says, when the Imam says the first salam, before second, just come back. So we will continue, inshallah. Everything is in place. So when I make azan, and Maghrib might be in the next 15, 20. Whoever wants to make wudu before then can just go, the gents and ladies are at the corner. Fatabarakallah. Our next speaker, inshallah, will be Honorable Fode Sekuba Jajusi, former permanent secretary to the cabinet for Tabarakallah. The Honorable spoke well about Sir Dawda, but one thing that you said is him bringing about peace. So for Tabarakallah, from everything that you guys are saying, and in his eulogy, Uncle said about the peace, bringing peace about people, countries, at the international level, Tabarakallah. And Allah said, if you don't have anything good to say, just be quiet. لا خير في كثير من نجواهم إلا من أمر بصدقة أو معروف أو إصلاح بين الناس. Allah said, anytime you guys meet, anytime President Dawda Jawara left Gambia, traveled internationally, Allah said, if you have nothing good to say or do, don't go. So Allah said, there is nothing good in what you say or do, illa man amara bi sadaqah, unless you encourage people to give out sadaqah, aw ma'arufin, or enjoying good, aw islahim baynan nas, or making reconciliation between people, which he has been doing at an international level. Well said, Mr. Ambassador. Next we give to our uncle, Jajusi. Bismillah.
Already, countless column inches have been written about Sir Dawda and continue to be written. Also, countless words have been said by so many, ranging from family, friends, colleagues, and international figures, whilst debates, discussions, and commentaries continue to dominate the multitude of media channels, including social media. Thus, obviously, we've heard Sir Dawda's family background, early life, education, and the rest covered by and from many sources. Even now, and more importantly, we are still hearing from some of those who have worked very closely for and with him. I therefore count myself as one. The relationship developed steadily beyond the workplace to an everlasting personal and family affair. I feel I have lost a father, colleague, and friend, all in one. So when Mama Lady Chilel called last week to inform my wife, Umi, and myself of this event, and asked us to attend and say something, I took it not only as an instruction, but as a matter of duty. Unfortunately, Umi is unable to be here with us today due to unavoidable circumstances. She sends her best wishes. When I joined the Gambia Civil Service in 1976, Sir Dawda was already President of the Republic. I was, among others, sent for further studies to return home and help in the development of a newly independent country. I returned home and joined the Civil Service in 1976 to be exactly that. Between 1976 and 79, I served for very short periods at various ministries. I won't go through them. I was posted to the office of the president in 1979, where I remained, rising steadily but surely to the position of permanent secretary in 1988. This was when I worked directly under Sir Dawda's office, and I spent 11 and a half years there before I moved to the Ministry of Works. So it was a time challenging but very interesting. When the Gambia became independent in 1965, several welcomed the news both at home and abroad. However, at the same time, others expressed doubts and skepticism about the country's ability to survive as a viable independent state because of its small size, small size, paucity of economic resources, and lack of a trained, educated civil service, among other factors. A study was even carried out about a possible merger with Senegal. But the most hilarious reaction came in a book entitled Enter Gambia, the Birth of an Improbable Nation by Barclay Rice. It was a caricature. After Sir Dawda's passing, I was contacted and interviewed by several media channels for my reaction. My responses and participation in these interviews, plus this written submission, jointly constitute my tribute to our first president and founder of modern Gambia, Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara. I think it's pertinent and instructive at this juncture to ask ourselves what Sir Dawda's reaction was to the doom and gloom merchants about the future of the nascent country he led to independence. The answer was simple. He hit the ground running by strengthening existing institutions and creating new ones across the board for the administration, management, and development of the country. Starting with the three key arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, under a new political dispensation alongside the new independence constitution, a fully fledged country emerged with collective cabinet responsibility, new ministers and diplomatic representation abroad, both at bilateral and multilateral levels. The country went ahead to take its rightful place in the international community as a member of the Commonwealth, the United Nations, the Bretton Woods institutions, that's the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. We also joined the Organization for African Unity at the time, and crucially set up joint institutions with Senegal. Our neighbor, we are inseparable. By 1970, Sir Dawda had completed the country's political development journey when we became a republic on 24
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you. Guys, can we have a round of applause for Uncle? And of course, a takbir for Uncle. Takbir! Everyone, takbir! MashaAllah. I said to Bamba Mas outside that just one of these people seated here, or you guys seated here, if you are given a minute, you can speak hours on end about the late president, and you might not even repeat yourself. So, for Tabarakallah, when I interrupt anyone, I do it without any choice, for Tabarakallah. Because if we are to go by the time, if we are not strict about the timing, we have over 15 people to speak, and we have an hour and a half, so to say, and we've only got 3 speakers so far, for Tabarakallah. You can understand when I stand before here, Uncle has a lot to say about Sir Dawda, because he spent a lot of time with him, and everything was excellent. Thank you, Uncle. Jazakallah khair. And next we have Sep19. Next I have my uncle, Fatabarakallah. I'm skipping my uncle Ndaunjai, former ambassador to France, and of course, commander of the Gambia Armed Forces. First commander of the Gambia Armed Forces, Fatabarakallah. Everyone must have heard about him. And now we have benefited by being with him in the UK, that I know very well, Fatabarakallah. Uncle Ndaw, the floor is all yours, MashaAllah.
Thank you, Imam. I will try to be very brief. And as Mr. Jadin said, we cannot give justice really to Sir Dawda with the time that is available to us. But so I will forgo the introductions and just say I am Alhaji Mohammed, former Field Force, Gendarmerie and Army Commander, and also formerly Ambassador of the Gambia to the Republic of France, with concurrent accreditation to several other European countries. Just before I begin, I would just like to extend my deepest thanks for the tremendous outpouring of support I received from a lot of people all over the country who knew about my relationship with the late Dawda Kariaba Jawara, the father of the Gambian nation. At this juncture, I want to also seize this opportunity to convey my condolences of my family, friends, loyal members of the security services, particularly of the National Army, who served under Dawda Jawara. This we convey to the family and friends on the demise of Dawda. While Dawda's body laid in state in the Gambia, people of all races, creeds, and religions walked past his body whilst it lay in state to pay their respect. And they did this to a great man who, whilst he was alive, respected, loved, treated them with dignity, respect, equality, and fairness during his lifetime. In all the years that I have known Dawda, I have never met anyone filled with so much optimism, who not only loved his people, but also his country. Well, everyone in this audience knows who Dawda was, so I will not dwell on the details of the man and his achievements. I will simply concentrate on some of my personal experiences and relationships with him. I served him as ADC. And as ADC, I'm sure Mr. Gassama, who has been the longest serving ADC to Dawda, would know what I'm about to say to you. As ADC, I was responsible for coordinating security and military ceremonial arrangements for the president on overseas trips, perform routine activities for the president, coordinate with protocol to prepare and organize calendars and schedules, help coordinate protocol activities, meet and host visitors. So you will understand, just because of those functions, how close the relationship was between me and Dawda. Dawda was a man of peace. As chairman of mediating group, as an Islamic mediating group, he was instrumental in bringing to an end the war between Iran and Iraq, which lasted for 7 years, 10 months. As chairman of ECOWAS, he presided over the creation of ECOMOG in Banjul, which ultimately brought about the end of the rebellion in Liberia and ushered peace to that country. He was highly respected, admired, and held in high esteem by his colleagues, not only in Africa, but throughout the world. I'll just talk about the failed 1981 coup in brief. This was a warlike situation, and I had the opportunity of observing Dawda perform as a commander-in-chief in that situation. He was always calm during that period. He demonstrated calmness, thoughtfulness, decisiveness, composure, and he was restrained. The following leadership qualities that he possessed is what separates good leaders from bad ones. His honesty and integrity has never been questioned. He was always able to inspire others. He was always committed and passionate to his people and country. He was a good communicator. His decision-making capabilities were second to none because he was a good listener. And so people like Mr. Yanga, who is sitting next to me here, will attest to that. He would listen before he makes decisions. He was not a dictator. He delegated responsibilities and empowered people to carry out their duties without fear, knowing that Sir Dawda would never use the blame game. If something goes wrong, can you please reduce the noise out there? If something goes wrong, he doesn't pass the buck. The buck always stops with him. And I'm sure OJ will attest to that as well. He was creative and innovative. I say this because when you look at Gambia's independence, the outside world said that Gambia would not be viable because of its geographical location, and also its size and economy. But because of his vision, he was able to make it work. He had to start from scratch because the colonial powers left nothing. He had to build everything from day one. He was a humble person who treated everyone equally. Above all, he had great sense of humor. The prism through which Sir Dawda saw life was always positive. When I hold this photo, some of you will see it as half full, some will see it as half empty. Sir Dawda will always see this as half full because he was always positive. The ability of the human spirit to withstand tragedy always interested Sir Dawda, and he firmly believed that with faith, friends, colleagues, and of course with hard work, anybody could withstand anything. Well, that philosophy has certainly been put to the test this week, but I believe that it is working. The past week has definitely been a whirlwind of emotion. In the sad times this week, all of you were such a source of comfort and support for the Jawara family as they received hundreds and hundreds of emails, messages, and phone calls. Allah gave us Sir Dawda for 90 good years. Allah has now taken him home. We should now thank Allah for the wonderful gift and celebrate the time that Sir Dawda was with us. Sir Dawda was once said to me, the importance of faith and of accepting and even celebrating death was something I continue to believe, and that's a quotation I believe as a Muslim. To accept fate, we have to resign ourselves as mortals to the fact that we are just a small part of a grand design. Well, Sir Dawda may have been a small part of Allah's grand design, but he was such a big presence here on this earth. One of my friends said something to me that I think really captures Sir Dawda. He said, and I quote, if Sir Dawda could ask of one thing of all of us today, it would be to ask if our actions today yielded respect for our families, being a credit to our faith, and a benefit to our fellow men. Unquote. Great men often lead with their egos. Sir Dawda led with his heart, his compassion, and most importantly, his honor. He had a great time living, and he is in no doubt having a great time of his life in heaven. So I ask you this Sunday, in your hearts and in your minds, to imagine what George Bernard Shaw said, and I quote, "This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a muddy one, being thoroughly worn out before you are thrown on the scrap heap, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clot of ailments and grievances, unquote. Well, Sir Dawda was a force of nature, and now his own cycle, nature, is complete. But his spirit lives on in everybody who loves their country, loves their family, and loves their faith. Thank you, Sir Dawda. It was my honor and privilege to have known you and to have been closely associated with you. Once again, on behalf of my family, friends, and security personnel who served under the presidency of Sir Dawda, and on my own behalf, we extend our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara. May Allah the Almighty grant you Jannah.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair, Uncle. Jazakallah, well said, Tabarakallah. Now it's time to perform Maghrib Salah, just right at the corner. For those who, MashaAllah, right at the corner, follow Ibu Jawara, Bambamas, and the rest, Tabarakallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Yo, this one for a blessed Gambia. The more we work together, the more we celebrate. The more we come together, the more we celebrate. Come on, let's get together. There's a place I love to be. The Gambia, the Gambia.
Imagine a private retreat buried deep in the forest. A special place to relax, recharge, and get in touch with our culture and nature. So go discover the smiling coast of Africa.
InterFaceTV. With us, the Gambia ci kaw ci kanam rek. This event is...
Assalamu alaikum. All right, the next speaker we have is Captain Gassama, ADC to Sir Dawda Jawara from 1990 to 1994. For Tabarakallah, Mbading Mr. Gassama, the floor is all yours. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum. To my respected elders, I say to all of you, Assalamu alaikum. All protocols observed, since we have only 5 minutes. Most of you have worked with Sir Dawda, and you've been extolling his virtues throughout the years you've worked with him. As ADC, I went to work with Sir Dawda from 1990. And as a young officer, very green in experience, my first, I won't call it an encounter, but it's a kind of I was informed that some people used to come to State House anyhow without an appointment. So this particular very powerful Gambian, he came and I turned him back. And then he happens to have Sir Dawda's direct number. And then when he called him, and then he was informed that he was turned back from the gate. So Sir Dawda called me. So, because I just came from the training school, very regimented, very strict. And then he said, Lamin, Mr. X came to the gate and you turned him down. So I just, said, sir, that's very wrong. I said, sir, that's very wrong. And before I could just go further, he just stopped me in tracks, said, I'm sorry. So I've become ashamed of myself because that raised my voice, not following any kind of, I thought I was doing something right, but the president telling me I'm sorry, so I kind of I feel I'm out of my place. So, but then he bowed and he smiled and he said, I'm very busy here. Some people think it's a place for chatting, but then at least he encouraged me, even though I was doing something right, but at the same time, he encouraged me. From then onwards, I think that set the tone for my relationship with him. He will always encourage me to tell him anything negative here outside. And whenever I come, normally just knock the door when we get to the office, and I'll sit down. When I say, sir, and he knows I have something to tell him, just come and sit down. And you will never tell him something and you'll see say A, B, and C. He will just listen, and then sometimes he will just laugh, and then let it be. But he will follow you. Be rest assured, whatever you tell him, he'll follow it up. I wish to recall the fond memories of him. He has a very great sense of humor. At once, on April Fool's Day, I would never have thought he would pull a prank like that. He said he is traveling. I've never said it to my army commander. He said he was traveling. So normally traveling involves guard of honor. You have to inform the army. They have to sign their boots and ready. And this was early in the morning. He just came here, I'm traveling. And with a straight face, he didn't even smile. So I said, okay, I didn't even think it was April 1st or something like that. So I called Dawda, and then the president is traveling. And then, but in the back of my mind, they were questioning me, is it actually traveling? Well, he said it's an emergency, he's traveling. So the army do their necessary preparations, and then, inform Mr. Bob, we are traveling. So I was of the view that we are traveling. So when I closed the door, probably he was laughing behind me, until around 12 o'clock, and he called me and said, anyway, stand down, I've canceled my trip. That's the kind of man. He has a sense of humor. At once, around another time, I remember Mike Tyson was knocking everybody down. The boxer coming up. And he told me, say, Lyman, I can fight Mike Tyson. So I was saying, where is it one coming from? I said, yeah, because, it's just first round. I'll just duck and dive, and that's the end of the fight, and I'll fail, and I'll get my money and go. If you see his relationship with his workforce, he's always been like that. It's always fun. He wants you to get used to him, and yet when he wants to be firm, he can be very, very firm. If you do something wrong, he has only 2 words for you. He will say, and you too. You will wish that the earth will split into 2, and you bury your head into it. Because he can be very, very firm. People may say he is soft, but I've seen at very close quarters, at the height of the Liberian crisis, when we were in Mali, and Charles Taylor was refusing to sign all the peace accords. He just said, okay, give me the phone, let me talk to Gaddafi. Because people said Gaddafi was the man behind him. So he doesn't phase, nothing phases him. He has the wisdom and the wherewithal to be able to talk to Gaddafi to make Charles Taylor sign those accords. The same thing when we went to Burkina Faso. As we arrived at the tarmac, a shipment of arms came on the plane, and Kampaware he didn't hide it. He said this came from Gaddafi the Liberian rebels. It didn't faze him. And then later on also, when he connected the dots and then realized that this whole thing is being fueled from Ivory Coast, Ofebwanyi, and his own words was saying, he said that let's go into the lion's den. And when he got down there, Ofe was talking about the Second World War, and he was down there to talk about the Liberian crisis. So we had an interpreter who was interpreting in French. So what he was saying, and the guy was interpreting something different. He thought he didn't understand French. When he was interpreting, he said, sorry, I didn't say that. So Cherno Jallo can be a testimony to this. He was working with us at State House. Instead, he called Cherno Jallo to do the interpretation for him. So he's very firm. You know, he may be soft sometimes, but when he needs to be firm, he can be very, very firm. And he has a lot of wisdom, like I said, and the technique to get into even the worst adversaries and try to broker peace. One thing I know he guards jealously is the sovereignty of Gambia. Yeah, this idea of improbable state, you know, probably is at the back of his mind because he will fight and tooth and nail to safeguard our sovereignty. And then the other thing is about his legacy, human rights records. I remember at the 1993 Vienna conference, and he said, Lamin, look around here. Do you see any African leaders here? He was the only African leader in the Human Rights Vienna conference. So he is very, very, very proud of those two, his human rights records and safeguarding the integrity and the sovereignty of the Gambia. Thank you very much.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah, simplicity, humility at its peak, and a good sense of humor. Jazakallah khair, ADC Captain Gassama. May Allah grant you goodness. Our next speaker, inshallah, is Sheikh Taib Cham. He is going to speak in his capacity as the in-law of the late President Dawda Kariaba Jawara, and of course speaking on behalf of the family for Tabarakallah. Sheikh Taib, Bismillah, تقبل مشكورا إن شاء الله تفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والعبد لله والصلاة والسلام على عبده ورسوله محمد وعلى آله وصحابته ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Honorable brothers and sisters, Mr. Chairman, my dear wife, and the family member of Sir Dawda, Fode, and Kausu, and Husseinu Jawara are here present. First of all, Mangi stands in KANAM, why I don't know which language I should speak. And also, what shall I say? ñu ne ma wax mandinko wala wolof wala lugal arabiya bu baa Gassama dina ko translate. Anyway, kàddu gu gàtt lay war a wax. jotaay la boo xam ne jotaay fàttaliku la waaye itam jotaay sant yàlla la. ki ñu fi boole nit ku rëy la. ku rëy la ci juddu, ku rëy la ci yar, ku rëy la ci xam-xam, ku rëy la ci set good example, ci bari yërmande. waaye ci benn bunt laay ñëwee boo xam ne ñu bari tudduñ ko te lu gàtt lay doon. ndax xam nga ne yonent bi alayhi salaatu wasalaam daf ñu digtal ne suñuy doom dañ am àq ci wayjur. àq boobu mu ne bi ci jiitu nga tànnal ko tur boo xam ne dafay reflect ci dundam. ndax seetlu ngeen Sir Dawda Kariaba Jawara ci history léppam dafa nekk fees. boo seetee history Gambia wala West Africa, yaakaar naa surtout Gambia mooy the first person boo xam ne ñu ngi la tuddee Kariaba. loolu lan la miin ci arabique mooy xayrun kathir, jàmm ju bari. moo tax yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wax ne nañuy tuddee suñ suñuy doom tur boo xam ne dafay reflect ci dundam te loolu yaakaar naa képp ku dund ak moom gis na xayrun kathir fi zaatihi wa fi xayaatihi wa fi siirati nekk na first veterinary doctor ci Gambia nekk first prime minister nekk first president nekk first mankind ever buñ buried ci fiili